I only realised yesterday that, you know that famous painting, it's not called the 16th Chapel, it's called the Sistine. It took me almost 23 years to realise that. And I got home and I was texting people, like, I'm a fucking idiot. I thought I was all smart and I'm not. I thought it was called the 16th Chapel.
Cheesecake was made out of cheese.
Yeah, I didn't know cheesecake was made out of cheese. There's something wrong with me. Yeah, but I recall things that people would never need to know. Yeah, I don't know cheesecake is made out of cheese, and I didn't know it was called the Sistine Chapel. I thought it was 16th. I genuinely always thought it was the 16th Chapel until I was on Huffington Post yesterday, and I was reading about some guy that painted his different rooms in his house, different things, and then it said Sistine Chapel, and I'm like wondering, what the hell is the Sistine Chapel? I know all these other things. What's the Sistine Chapel? And then it clicked, and I was like, oh my God. I thought it was 16th Chapel for almost 23 years. My whole entire life.
Something then.
I actually learned something while I was in work.
Wow, I think I've been there, Sistine Chapel. Is that the one where the Pope lives?
I don't. Yeah, you see these gaps in my logic. The extent of that, I don't even know where it is. But
it's quite a nice place, but it does make you realise how rich the Catholic Church is.
Yeah,
it's not all about God and helping people. It's about the money. Don't get me started on that.
Shouldn't that have come under our talk on the cult, about cults? To make me feel better, Chris told me that for a month after 9/11, he thought Bin Laden was called Bill Laden. But at least that was only for a month. This stuck with me my whole life. I thought it was 16th Chapel. No one ever corrected me when I said it. They sound similar, I guess. And, of course, I've heard it before. But why did I always think it was called the 16th Chapel?
Yeah.
Where are the other 15?
I know. I mean, it is one of those things. I'm pretty sure I've done something stupid like that. I just can't remember at the moment.
I'm pretty sure
there's
like
stupid
like
things
that.
And you suddenly realise what they've been talking about for years.
What, like a joke that you hear on Friends when you're about 5 and you don't realise until you're in your 20s what it means? Or like when watching The Simpsons, because some of the humour is adult. But as a kid, you're just laughing away because you think you should be laughing. You don't actually understand what it means.
Yeah,
and then you watch the episode when you're like 21, and it's like, oh, that's a bit rude.
I know. It's like some like the sitcoms I used to watch with my dad when I was younger, and you realise what they actually mean later on, and it's like, that's bloody filthy.
I know.
And some of this is like meant to be like the 60s and stuff, or early, and you're like, that's a bit rude for them.
But you never realise until later. But this wasn't that. It's not a joke. It's the name of a place.
Yeah.
A very famous place.
I do have a slightly silly story about myself.
Okay.
Recently, I was watching Jane Eyre and with my sister.
Of course.
I was eating apple crumble at the time, and the bird just flew, and it made me jump. And Jane Eyre isn't even a horror film. It made me jump.
Some people might find it scary.
I was like, shit. I've got scared by a bloody period drama.
Welcome to the Dorks Deduction Podcast, where we talk about stuff.
They scare me as well. The suppression of women and other races, it's scary. So basically, period pieces
that
are scary.
Doesn't bother me so much. It was a bloody bird that scared me.
It doesn't bother you because you're a white man.
True.
It bothers me. I'm a brown woman. Yeah, period pieces. Oh my God, period pieces are horror movies for people that aren't white men.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh wow, that's food for thought.
Yeah, I got scared by bloody Jane Austen. It makes me look so good, doesn't it?
Yeah. What did I recently get scared by? I think there was something, but I can't remember what. So yeah, good talk. There's something that scared me. I can't remember what. That's a fun anecdote, isn't it?
Yeah. It's your memory that scares you, probably.
My memory?
Yeah. The fact you can't remember it, that's not a good sign. You're only 20.
You know what? My memory does genuinely scare me. Because sometimes I have, like, perfect recall, but then I remember, like, I forget major things that have happened in my life. And other times I remember every single detail of a day.
Yeah.
Or every single detail of something that I've done, or a TV show, or a movie. But then I just forget major things.
So, like, I remember the stuff that I really wouldn't want to, like, remember, like meeting Lana and stuff like that.
I remember that. We were in Mata's class. Oh, Mata.
Yeah,
I love
was
Mata.
standing outside and she was moaning about her Spanish or something.
I
And she started
didn't-
talking to me. I didn't even ask her to. That was
No,
the
I think
worst thing about it.
I think me and Lana, we just started talking after a class at some point. Because remember, it was
Yeah.
the first class, and then Mata was looking. I think she asked why we were all wanted to do film or television or what we were
Yeah.
into. And then I said, oh, TV shows like Lost. No, Lana said TV shows like Lost. One of us said TV shows like Lost, and the other one perked up, and then we started talking.
Yeah.
So Lost, fuck you very much.
Yeah.
After the finale, and now you've given me Lana.
We're stuck with her now.
And also, Mata, if you're listening, we're really, really sorry that we've had a lot of bad language throughout. I didn't expect you to listen to it, which is why we did it. And the moment you said you wanted to listen to it, I got scared.
This is my first one, so, you know, I'm completely... I don't know who else was on before. I mean, that idiot that was on before. Used my name as well.
It's the other Matt.
Yeah, the other Matt.
The other Matt that hid under the table and we never saw him.
Really?
In class.
What's he doing
In class.
underneath it? Did I?
Not you, you idiot.
Oh, the other one, yeah.
The other Matt.
The other Matt.
Yeah, the other one.
Did this actually happen or not?
No.
Oh, good. I was going to say. I was like, was my memory going there?
Oh, we were just talking about memory, weren't we?
Yeah. I remember saying I hated Sex in the City.
You what?
I remember said I hated Sex in the City.
I think I agreed with you, didn't I?
Yeah.
And I was proud because I was a woman that hated Sex
Yeah.
in the City. What are we discussing today, Matt?
We are discussing immigration. So all you cheeky little immigrants out there listening, you know. Hope you don't get offended.
Well, yeah, to be more specific, it's going to be immigration and the attitude in the UK and the attitudes towards it.
Yeah.
Because that's a major issue and talking point. And it has been for as long as I can remember.
Yeah.
But I think it's just become more prevalent now because of the new EU regulations, whereas I think if anyone that has an EU passport from any of the the countries that are in the EU, they can go anywhere in the EU and settle down, which includes the UK.
Yeah.
So people are having a major bitch fit about that. So what do we think about that?
About EU immigration.
Well, I've forgotten what it's called. It's like the EU free movement thing.
Yeah.
So if you have a passport from a country that's in the EU, you can go and live in any of the countries that are in the EU. So people from like Germany, France, Poland, they can come and live here for as long as they want. They don't need any paperwork. They just need an EU passport. They don't have to really go through any regulations. It's like it's basically going to be like moving from state to state in the US because you don't need to go through any legal mumbo jumbo.
Because they're like, it doesn't like take account of criminal records or anything like that. Then.
No, which is
Yeah, that's because I remember what you were saying about that guy who they thought murdered that girl. I don't think anyone's actually sure whether he did it or not yet.
well, I don't think we'd actually hear more
But
about that, would we?
he had previous convictions
Yeah,
from.
didn't he rape
Yeah,
a 14-year-old
where-
girl?
He was
and
from
then
like Lithuania or something like that, one
Yeah.
of those countries.
He
was
raped,
from.
I think it was a 14-year-old girl, and he served a sentence of too small a number of years, and then came and moved here, carried on with his
Yeah.
life as normal. Nobody knew he was a sex offender, I'm assuming,
Yeah,
and he possibly
Potentially
killed
murdered,
a young girl.
Yeah, but it's like with Joseph Fritzl. You know, he didn't immigrate, but it's to that point of like
Wait,
criminal records
did he come to England?
No, criminal records get wiped over in some countries, or they
Wait,
certainly
Joseph
used to.
Fritzl, where did he move to?
He didn't move anywhere. I'm just saying it's a point from like in some countries, criminal records get
Ah, okay.
kind of, that you know, they only last so long.
So
And
did he have
we
a
don't
criminal
we,
record
we
before?
don't know. Yeah, he raped someone, and if it but only got kept on the Austrian kind of criminal record base thing for I think it's only about 15 years, and it gets wiped off.
Oh, okay.
And the point is, if that happens in like other countries, where people
Yeah,
are
we
kind of
could
immigrating
be letting in
over,
any people
yeah,
here.
that
Not
we
that I'm
don't know
saying we
about.
do not have any rapists or
Of our own.
murderers that are homegrown.
Yeah.
Because we do, we have plenty.
It's just
I say that so cheerily as well.
Yeah.
It's like, no, we have plenty.
yeah. But I think it's weird if we can try and avoid letting in people that we know have got these kind of records, then
Yeah.
I think it would be better.
Yeah.
It's where we would probably benefit from slightly stronger kind of immigration kind of law.
Well,
thing.
a lot of people in the UK, well, British people, are completely against the free movement, But looking into their comments on news articles and stuff, I just think they're against anyone that isn't white. I think this stuff is used as an excuse for racism, but without having to be racist. It's a fine line. Well, not really a fine line.
I do
I've
think there
forgotten what
is a
point I
side to
had.
it.
I've forgotten the point I had. Okay.
I was thinking of bringing up the fact that we haven't done an introduction yet.
We did.
No, we didn't.
You said, when I said, "Oh, what are we going to be talking about today, Matt?" and then you said immigration. That was our introduction.
I thought I had to do the whole welcome to the Dorks deduction. But we've already got that, haven't we? We haven't got that music bit.
Yeah,
Welcome to the
we've got
Dorks
that music bit. We'll put that in. Now I've completely forgotten what the fuck we're talking about. This is going to be a bitch to edit.
Immigration. Oh, well, we've done quite well. We've made some points already, so...
Yeah, but I've forgotten
get
what point I was
BT bit.
making, and then I didn't finish making it because I forgot what I was making. What was I
Yeah.
saying? I can't
You were
genuinely can't
saying
remember.
about how it's just
See,
an
my
excuse for
memory.
racism.
What?
You saying it's an excuse for racism.
Yeah, I wasn't I? I shouldn't have gone in to that one so quickly.
So you haven't got anything to extend.
I can't remember what I was going to say.
Well, you're talking about the free movement and
Oh yeah, the free movement.
how people see it.
Brits in the UK see free
I wouldn't
movement.
generalise.
Yeah, well, it's more the working class folk, I think. From what I've witnessed in day-to-day life,
Yeah.
it's the
To be
working class
fair,
folk. I don't even
they-
think they're working class, to be honest. Because working
be
class
f-
people,
To be
I'd
fair,
rate.
it is in general kind of the working class that they witness it a lot more than some people do, immigration. So it's, that's all I've got.
That's what you've got. The working class
My point
witness.
is, the working class, I think that they see immigration, the impact of it a lot more. Because quite often there is a lot of the immigrants kind of, they're quite poor. They've come here to make their lives better. Not all of them, I should add. So obviously
you've got the
it's
skilled
going to be,
migrants.
they're going to be going to places like council estates and stuff like that, around that kind of area. So it is going to be the working class people who kind of, I wouldn't say interact, but they see them a lot more than, say, a middle class person who lives in London. Because that's the one thing that gets me, like, you get journalists, middle class, like, journalists, commenting on immigration. You think, what do you really see of immigration in London, to be fair?
For me, look, I grew up in London. So for
Yeah.
me, I've never really thought about immigration. I know my parents immigrated, but I've genuinely never had to think about immigration. It's never occurred to me. It's never been an issue for me. It's just I've always been in a multicultural society, which is why I love London. Because you get to see so many different races of people. You get to experience and witness so many different cultures. I don't particularly understand why people would be against
Well, that's
integrating
the-
with other people. Maybe
the
that's
thing
just me, but...
But yeah, the problem is, like, in London it's quite well integrated. In other parts it isn't. Like in Bradford, for example, there isn't much integration. And that's where you get different sides against different sides.
You think that, but recently, a few days ago, I was at the post office, right? And there was a couple of people in the queue, a few places behind me, and I heard them talking, and they recounted the number of white faces that were in the post office, and they were just like, "There's only 3 of us," and then they were talking about. Then they started talking about other races, some of it not very nice, and how, why are they all here? And it's like, all I want is stamps. All I want is stamps. It just bothers me. And it's like, who do you vote for? UKIP? And it's just like, why? I just didn't understand it. I just think they want to be vicious. I don't think they have a point. Like, this was a man that was just trying to get stamps, and he was still making an issue about well, it wasn't even about immigrants. He was being racist.
Yeah.
So I just, like I'm saying, I think it's more an excuse for people to be racist. Not everyone, of course. I think a lot of the volatile attitudes towards it are racism.
I think it's a weird thing because I think Muslims do get a lot of it. Because, like, I know in Leicester, that you hear some people saying that they fucking hate Muslims. It's not so much like Hindus or kind of Sikhs. It seems to be Muslims that seem to kind of get there. And then when, like, you ask them why, I don't know, they just go, I just fucking hate them. So
Well, it's because of the media. Like, everyone has their turn. Now it's the time for Muslims to be bashed. And yes, there are extremists, but there are extremists in every religion. It's just the light is being shone on the Muslim extremists right now. Because, the world needs someone to unite against, and that's how politicians get power, is through the fear of people. So, they play up as well. So it's politicians and media. Like, I'm not saying that I, condone anything Muslims are doing in retaliation to that.
Yeah.
Because I just don't think they should rise to the bait. But there are extremists in every cult. Did I just say cult? Every religion. Sorry. In every... I'm so not going to let my families into this.
Oh, what?
In every religion.
Slip up, Tarman.
A bit of a slip up, major slip up. There are extremists. There are extremists in any major religion or cult, because there are. And it's not a good idea to blanket a whole race of people, a whole organisation of people over the actions of a few. Because, like, Rupert Murdoch did it recently. Because you know the Charlie Hebdo things that happened in France. Yeah. He, I think he was tweeting a bit about how, all Muslims need to stand up and take responsibility. And I was like, hold on a second, my parents didn't go off and do all that, did they? I don't think they should hold any responsibility over that at all. They shouldn't support it, which they don't, but they have no reason to say... to hold their hands up and claim responsibility over it when they didn't actually do it. It's just a certain few. It's not the whole organisation. Yeah,
I kind of think that that's just bound to happen, though. I don't think it was right, and I'd rather it didn't. But it's like when the IRA kind of were bombing. Suspicion would fall on Irish people.
Yeah.
So
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. It's the turn of the Muslims right now.
Yeah.
In 50 years, it might be the Catholic Church that politicians and media are spouting against and turning the whole world against.
Yeah.
And it will work, because it's worked time and time again. That's how Nazism started, isn't it?
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. So, okay, we're talking about immigration. We've already gotten to Nazis.
Yeah. Well, media perception is something I want to talk about, because I do politics, and it did actually come up. And it is actually kind of useful right now. Basically, it's how immigration is talked about in the media, and how it's perceived. Like, there's particular words that are always used to describe immigration. It's always words like flood or wave. Quite negative words.
Yeah.
They kind of bring up visions of tidal waves and stuff like that. And if you look, I looked at the statistics of immigration, and I think the net migration is something like 298,000.
Yeah.
And if you think of a 6 million population, that's not actually kind of loads. It is a bit overblown, I think.
I think that is the people that have entered into the country recently, but then you've still got the existing immigrants as well.
Yeah.
So I think that might be where people have an issue as well.
Yeah, I think it is important to add that some people's issue is not with immigration as such, but I think the sheer number sometimes is what concerns people. And I think that's to some degree that's a valid concern, but I think it is a bit overblown.
Well, I'm not against immigration. I'm fine with it. I like the mixing of cultures.
Yeah.
As long as you can assimilate to the society that you're in.
Yeah.
As in learn English, because it really annoys me when someone is trying to speak to me and ask me something and they can't do it in English. Because what am I supposed to do? The only way I can communicate with them is saying what I'm trying to say louder, and it's not going to make any difference. I think you should be able to assimilate. I'm not saying that you have to be fluent in the language or have to go out drinking every Friday night.
Yeah.
You don't. But you just have to know how to tolerate and live within that society. And you have to add to the society, whether that means working or doing something else. And I don't think you should just be able to walk in. That's why I'm completely against the free movement in the EU. I'm split in two ways. I'm okay with immigrants, but I don't want the free movement. I think there should be regulations when you're coming in to a country, any country. Not just Britain, any country. I don't think you should just allow anyone into it. Like we were talking at the beginning, people with criminal records can show up on the shores, carry on, and we won't know. We won't be any of the wiser. Like we don't even know where sex offenders have gone after they've gone to prison. People, they actually genuinely lose track of them. So I think, there has to be tighter regulations. Like, we shouldn't really allow people that have violent criminal records. Like we have to be a bit lax. I mean, speeding tickets isn't really an issue for me. That's against the law. That might, if you have a certain number, I think you get a criminal record or something, you get a conviction of some sort. But any violent crime, you just shouldn't be allowed in any country.
Yeah, if you're going to be a danger to
if you're going to be
society.
a danger to anyone, you should just be locked away for life, in my opinion, but whatever. They should just be sent to the Sandwich Islands. And also, I don't think it's right for immigrants to come into the country and just be given everything, like they're given a place to live, or they can easily just sign up for benefits. If you're coming to the country, you have to already have a place to live, whether it's with a family member or you've already rented a place. And you have to have your own money beforehand, before you get into the country. So you have money to live off before you find work. I don't think you should just come into the country and get a house, get money in your bank account, and it all be fine and dandy. I think you should have to work for it, because it is the taxpayers' money that they are going to be living off of if they do come in and they don't have anything and they sign up as soon as they walk through the borders. And that's not me being harsh, not being me being racist. It's me being a taxpayer and wanting to know where it's going. Like, I don't...
Yeah, but how you getting to point on tax, how do you know what your tax is being spent on?
Fucking hell, we don't. That's the thing. So I just want less of it being spent.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I don't know. I don't know where it's going. It's paying for an MP's husband's porn.
Yeah.
Apparently.
In an ideal world...
in an ideal world,
a tax wouldn't go to like immigrants who kind of aren't working, or anyone who's not like working without a reasonable excuse, I should say.
Yeah, should we talk about the benefit system in a bit?
But I'd rather it go to them than to some war in
I think
country.
You know what?
We've got no reason to be there.
At the end of every year, when you're doing your tax returns and stuff, we should have like a form to fill in where we want our tax to go to.
Yeah.
Because if I did that, then I'd be happy. I'd be fine with my... Because, it pisses me off that I work.
Yeah.
And it doesn't feel like I'm working most of the time because I just get taxed the shit out of me.
Yeah.
It would be less of a blow if I knew where it was going and I knew it was going to a cause that I believed in. Like if it was going to a hospital, or if it was going to foster homes or something like that, or research to find a cure for something, I'd be okay with that. It's just not knowing where it goes, and the fact that I see people on benefits that seem to have it better off than me, and I'm just like, oh, you're living off the money that I earn. So it's not just the MP's expenses, it's everyone, really.
Yeah, you hate everyone.
Yeah, I hate everyone.
We've got to the bottom of it.
Get to the bottom of it. Basically, my mind is like a box of cats, as Robert Downey... I think it's Robert Downey Jr. would say to Loki. It's like a box of cats. I don't actually have a coherent thought. I'm for immigration, yet I'm still against it.
Immigration?
I'm for paying taxes, and then I'm against it as well. So, So basically, I'm a shit person to do a podcast because I have no decision. I can't make a decision. I don't know whether I like something or not.
You see, for me, it'd be a bit difficult to be against immigration because quite a few of my friends, not just friends like down in London, but some of my friends in Leicester as well. So
they let other people in Leicester?
Yeah. Do you think Leicester's... outside of London, it's the most multicultural city.
I was joking.
I know, but I was pointing that out.
All right.
They let a lot of people in Leicester. They let me in Leicester, for God's sake. So.
Do you remember Lewis Boughton?
Yes, I do.
Yeah. I was once commented, because he lives in a place called Herefordshire. I once said something about going to Herefordshire, and he was just like, I'd be like a drop of oil in milk.
Oh, is it for the white people?
Yeah.
Terrible people, white people. So, yeah.
But you know what? I was reading an article by, what's his name? Let me bring up the name. I've forgotten his name. What's his name? Let me bring up his name. I've forgotten it.
Nigel Farage?
Jonathan Ports. And basically one of the points he was making was how you're more likely to end up on the dole or in a lower paid job and getting a low wage if you come from a predominantly white area.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you can't fucking blame immigration on the fact that you don't have a job.
It is. It should be pointed out. It's not just. It is white people immigrate as well from like Eastern European countries. So it is.
Yeah.
It's kind of.
Well, I think
it's not,
meant
it's not just like a white
okay. I
kind
shouldn't
of-
have said white. I meant white British.
Yeah,
White British.
that's a good point actually.
He made a few good points, so I'll post it on the website as well because it's quite a lengthy article, so I don't want to get too into it. But it's a really interesting read, and you guys should check it out. I'll send it to you later. Well, I'll show it to you later because Matt, you're here with me right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
So I'll
looking
show
forward
it to
see
you in a bit.
Yeah. But there's also the way kind of like immigrants are kind of lumped together with drug addicts and stuff like that in the media. Like there was a story years ago. They were thinking of like having villages in like Somerset and places like that where asylum seekers would be able to live there, but it'd be with like drug addicts
Okay,
and
so
in general people who kind of don't want to live with. Amazingly, and so it's basically how they're kind of being lumped in with delinquents and stuff like that. Essentially,
You know what? That actually that type of stuff genuinely makes me angry because I read a few
Yeah.
comments. It wasn't about immigrants. I was on the Telegraph. I was going because they have whole sections about immigration. They actually have a category for immigration, and I was reading people's comments because that's what I really like to do because it's quite funny to see how bigoted people are in this day and age. It wasn't even about immigration, some of the comments. It was about asylum seekers in particular. I'm just like, hold on a second. Asylum seekers came here for a reason. They need asylum.
Yeah.
You can't treat them like shit because they've gone through so much already that we have to help. You have to have compassion for other people. If you expect me to have compassion for you, if you're hard up on your luck and you've lost your job or something and you have to claim job seekers allowance, which me and many other taxpayers, including immigrants that are working, are paying for, then you have to have compassion for a person that has to leave the whole country, the whole life behind, leave everything behind, come with their clothes, only the clothes that they have on their backs.
Yeah.
You can't treat them like shit and just put them into a corner with people that you think are delinquents of society. I don't even think drug addicts are delinquents of society. I think they need help. They should be able to get help.
It depends. I think how much they help themselves sometimes.
Yeah, but
If they're
sometimes
making
they
an
don't want...
effort.
Maybe they don't feel they have anyone to make an effort for, anything to make an effort for.
True.
So I have compassion for drug dealers more than I have compassion for people that pop out babies every couple of years to claim benefits. Because that happens a lot. Every time I hear about someone that I used to go to school with getting pregnant, I just have a thought in my head, oh, am I paying for that one as well?
I mean, they're not great people, I suppose, but if it's better for them to live that life like that, then...
Yeah, but they can't... That's what I'm saying. A lot of the people that are complaining as well are people that.
I don't think they should expect, like, compassion.
Yeah, but the thing is, a lot of the people that I've seen complaining in day-to-day life
it is.
are people like that. The people that don't want to work but expect everything given to them. And I'm just like, no, you can't complain. These people are coming over, starting off new lives. They're doing the jobs that you don't want to do. They're cleaning toilets. They're cleaning the streets. They're doing menial tasks because you can't be bothered to do it because you think you expect more. It's disgusting, really, because some of these people that are claiming benefits and saying they don't have anything, and they don't have anything, but they have nothing to do because all the immigrants are taking the job, and it's like, why don't you apply for more?
Yeah.
Why don't you just keep applying until you get something?
Yeah.
And even if something you don't like, do it anyway. Because I did a degree in film and TV. Guess what? I'm not working in film or TV.
Yeah.
I'm working an admin job. But I'm doing it because I need money and I don't want to claim benefits, to be frank. I don't really want to because I don't have to. I don't want to take money that I don't have to because I have this job and I'll work it and I'll try and get up the pecking order and try and... Well, what's the word?
Up the ladder.
Yeah, get up the ladder.
Yeah. For a minute I thought you were going to say you did a film TV course. You were going to say it was degrading or something like that. I thought it was a bit harsh.
To be honest, sometimes working a job that you weren't expecting to work, you weren't dreaming of working, is degrading.
Yeah.
But you know what? People have to do what they have to do. Life isn't fun.
Yeah.
Life is hard. And you have to work hard. And then it's over.
Yeah. That's one way of putting it.
Yeah. No, but all I'm saying is life is hard for everyone.
Yeah.
You don't get to complain about how your life is harder than anyone else. You're no different. You're no better. You're no worse than anyone else. Well, actually, no, you can be worse than a lot of people. But you're no better
Yeah.
than anyone else. Like me and you, we're no better than homeless people we see on the streets, or drug addicts that we see on the streets, or immigrants that have just flown in, come in from God knows where, or millionaires living on Millionaires Row. We're no better than anyone. They're no better
You
than
speak
us.
for yourself.
Okay. All right, sorry.
To be like honest, all humans are shit. So
I do think human beings are like the worst things that have ever existed.
Well, I don't know. I mean,
I do, because
Animals aren't exactly
we're the ones
great.
that are killing a planet.
yeah, but
We're the ones that are doing that.
yeah, that's only
Animals aren't doing
because
that.
we're unfortunate enough to have that capacity to.
Mm.
It's not our fault as such. You know, it's partly because we wanted to, build great things. So at the end of the day, it's going to cost, but that doesn't even to do with immigration now, is it?
When is whatever we're talking about in a podcast got
Yeah.
anything to do with this topic?
I just didn't realise I'm going off on one.
This is quite a serious chat we're having as well.
Yeah.
We haven't even joked, really.
It's quite mature, isn't it, actually?
Yeah. How is this happening? Me and you have we've only done the cults one together as well.
Yeah.
Just us two. And
That
that
did
one
get
was
a
quite
bit
mature
silly.
as well.
Well,
That
yeah,
one
it
was-
was quite
yeah.
mature at the time.
What the hell's wrong with us? Is this what happens when no one's around? We decide to be proper human
I
beings.
don't know. When I met up with Lana, it was quite mature. And usually she drags things down.
Yeah.
We actually talking about refugees, and it's relevant to the immigration point.
Yeah.
That also, it's really hard to make that decision to kind of leave somewhere that you're quite attached to
Yeah.
and to move to another country. It's quite brave. I'm not trying to be condescending there. So basically, yeah, it's kind of when, because there's another point about when people move here, that people talk about taking on, a British identity, that sometimes it's hard to leave, the identity of their country behind.
Yeah, I don't think you should have to. Because
Yeah.
there's a lot of comments online saying that, oh, no, they have to assimilate to our culture. They have
Yeah.
to, if they're going to, if they're going to move to England, they have to become English. It's like, not necessarily. You just have to learn how to live together.
I think
You just have to, they just have to learn how to adapt to you. You have to learn how to adapt to them. You know what? When British go to party in Amsterdam
Yeah.
and Malaga and stuff, they just act like proper assholes
Yeah.
and give us, all of Britain,
Yeah.
a bad reputation. They don't assimilate. They're like fucking idiots.
Yeah, it's like the point on both sides. You get people give you a negative image on both sides. Like the people partying in wherever, or the retirees that go to Spain and they just create an English kind of thing
Yeah.
in Spain or something like that, and then they moan about immigrants. And that
Yeah.
thing really annoys me because it's so hypocritical. They don't even realise how hypocritical they're being at times. But that's not representative of British people as a whole.
Yeah, exactly.
As much as the bad eggs of immigrants are kind of representative of immigrants as a whole. So it's just, I think it's the way that it gets perceived.
Yeah.
The way people see
to be
things.
perfectly honest, most of the immigrants I've interacted with and I'm friends with and I know personally, they're hardworking.
Yeah.
They don't go on the dole. They don't claim anything. They struggle just as much as we do.
Yeah.
To be perfectly honest with you, most of the people that I see sitting back and claiming benefits are British born. And some of them just genuinely don't care.
True. I think that's a good point.
They genuinely don't.
Yeah.
I've had some people say that they don't want to work and they're not going to. I bumped into someone I knew, I'm not going to name her just in case she listens, but someone I knew way back when, who is currently pregnant, because that's how my life goes when I bump into someone I used to know. They're always pregnant. No, I don't make them pregnant. They're always either pregnant or have had a baby. And she was just like, what do you do? And I told her what I did. And then I was like, so what do you do now? And it's like, oh, I'm not doing anything. I just don't really particularly want to
Yeah.
work. And then it's like, I really just wanted to ask her, oh, are you claiming now? Because she
Yeah.
most definitely is. But it's people like that. They're the dregs?
Yeah.
How do you say it?
Skanks.
Scans. They're the shits of society,
Yeah.
really. People that don't want to work. And that's not always necessarily the Europeans or asylum seekers or immigrants that come into the
Yeah.
country. Because I think, on a whole, they don't come in the country for benefit tourism or healthcare tourism. They come here to start a new life and earn
Yeah.
money to help their families.
Yeah, I think that's like most cases,
Yeah.
really. It's like, I do think that idea of them being immigrants being kind of benefit seekers is a bit overblown, particularly in like the media.
Yeah. Did you watch
Particularly
that?
the Daily Mail.
Yeah, the Daily Mail, the voice of sanity.
Yeah.
Did you watch that TV show last year, Benefit Street?
No.
Well, it was really fucking shocking, to be honest.
Yeah.
Well, as you could tell by the name, a lot of the residents on James Turner Street were on benefits.
Yeah.
There was only one house that actually had immigrants in it. All the rest were
Yeah.
British. And that house, they actually worked. They worked for peanuts. They were being defrauded by their employers and
Neighbours.
things.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were, and they had their passports taken away and stuff.
Yeah.
So that was genuinely the only house that we saw on the street that was working, was the people that came over here to start a new life and to earn money, and they got suckered in by some dubious employer. The rest of the residents we saw on the streets were British born.
It's just hypocritical, isn't it, most of the time?
I think it's a blame game as well. You know what? We've, as a society, have raised people to be mollycoddled. They think they do deserve everything, and they aren't getting everything they want, so they need to blame someone. Maybe it's just you're not good enough for a job, or no one wants to work with someone that has an attitude like you, or that you're unskilled and unqualified. Because I don't understand how, in this day and age, how you can be unqualified, but there are a lot of people that aren't. Because you're in school, you get free education until you're 18 years old. So you have the availability to get at least GCSEs and A-levels. If you want to go on and get a degree, that's fine. If you don't, that's fine. But most jobs, they look for basic qualifications. If you can't do that, the education's been handed to you. If you can't do that, you can't complain about how tough your life is and how you can't get a job.
Yeah, I think that's a good point to a degree. I think
immigrants. You say your point.
I can understand how people can get away unskilled though, because I remember at school, it's the idiots that don't want to be there, and at the end of the day, they're fucking up their own lives, you know. So.
Yeah, but there's so much they could do. There's apprenticeships that run at colleges that you don't even have to pay for nowadays.
Yeah, but
That actually pisses me off as well, because I've met a few immigrants that I've seen working, and then they work for a few hours doing some cleaning in the morning or the afternoon or whatever, and in between they're going to college classes to better their lives so they can get a better job. It's actually infuriating. You know what? Let all the immigrants in. Let all the British people that can't be bothered to do anything out. If they don't like the way what the country's turning into, get them out. And to be quite frank with you, I don't like the idea of people not thinking of me as British. Like those men in the post office when they were saying we're the only white faces in here.
Yeah.
And I was like, are you fucking kidding me, mate? You can barely speak English.
Yeah, it's like...
Yeah. You don't judge a book by its cover. A lot of these people that I've seen it's really infuriating reading their comments. I don't know why I did it. I knew it would annoy me. They think anyone that isn't white isn't British. I'm sorry, but I am British. I was born and raised here. You're a white man, so you're not actually... I can't make you a point. Lana's British. She's from Syria, but she's British. We're all second or third generation Brits. You can't say anything to us about that. And we have actually done things with our lives. We tried to. We're trying to make our lives better.
Yeah.
So, basically what I'm saying is people use immigration as an excuse for racism. I've come full circle, haven't I? I don't even know any of the points I've made, but I've come full circle.
The only other thing I would say is that it's not just like a problem with white people sometimes. Like with immigration, it's, like how there's problems sometimes between like different communities.
Yeah.
Like there's a particular problem like between Polish and some other countries, and sometimes it's bringing that dispute over here. So it's not always like white British problem.
No, I'm not saying that. All I'm
Yeah.
saying is that their attitude stinks.
Yeah.
And I also don't think that we should have open borders to anybody. I think it should be. I think it's Australia that has I think the country's Australia where they have rigorous vetting processes if you want to migrate there, and then when you get there, you're not allowed to claim anything for 3 years.
Yeah.
Which I think is actually fair, because that way you've paid into the system for 3 years, and then you can start claiming back.
Yeah.
So you have to privately pay for your own healthcare and all of that stuff, which I think is perfectly fair.
Yeah. As much as I dislike Australia, it probably actually is quite a good idea.
You know what? The Australians are quite smart. You don't really see them in any international conflict, and their citizens seem to be quite happy.
They just make the rest of the
We
world
can't really say
miserable.
that about. We can't really say that about the UK, can we?
No, to be fair.
No.
Well, I don't know. They seem to hate their prime minister a lot.
Yeah, but that's every country.
Yeah. The thing about Australia, it could be just how they come across. You don't know what it's really like there.
That's true, but I don't
As
particularly
much
want
as
to go to
they're
Australia.
quite strict, and at times, it might be kind of better to be compassionate. So it's kind of both sides, isn't it? I suppose.
So basically, we don't have an opinion. We're just saying everyone needs to chill the fuck out, and to people that want to immigrate, maybe see if you can work it out in your own country first, and then if not, then you can come over.
I don't know. Just come over. I'm not bothered.
Yeah, just come over. If you could add to society, I don't really mind.
Yeah.
I think we need more people that can add to society, because we have so many people that can't.
Pretty much. I think that's our opinion.
Yeah. Wow.
We actually make serious points.
Yeah, this is a serious talk, man. We didn't really make any jokes.
I know.
We usually make some jokes and take the piss, but
Yeah.
no, we didn't do that today.
Actually, I'd
This
like
is
to revise my opinion on immigration or immigrants. I think they're complete scum. That's it.
You had to go there. I thought you'd
Don't you
forgotten
dare
about
make
that.
that the only addition I have to this podcast. I've said quite good stuff earlier on. I don't want to
You
just
learn
listen
how
to
to edit
this,
and
and it's
then
just
you have
going to be me
control.
saying they're complete scum.
That's going to be our intro.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, so me and you, why are we having... we have such
I'm
serious
really disappointed.
conversations.
I thought this was going to be full of racism and stuff. I thought we were
So
going to
did
be.
I was scared that racist things were going to keep coming out my mouth, because if you know me at all, listeners,
Yeah.
you'll know that I'm racist and sexist and prejudiced to everyone.
Yeah, and I'm white, so that means I'm naturally kind of racist and sexist.
Yeah, pretty much. You're a white male that
Yeah.
watches Jane Eyre and period pieces.
I wasn't intentionally watching it, actually. My
What do
sister
you mean
was
you weren't
watching it.
intentionally watching it? How
I'd
can
been
you-
watching something else, and when I finished watching that on my laptop, my sister was watching Jane Eyre, and so I had to kind of sit there
whatever.
and watch it. Shut the fuck
Whatever.
off.
I don't believe a word of it.
I wouldn't have watched it if I could. It had Big Dick.
What, you
Michael
mean like how...
Fassbender.
hey, listeners, guess what? Guess what Matt's watched? My Super Ex-Girlfriend.
Yeah, and you're getting it for your birthday.
Oh, shut up. Shut up. Fuck off.
Shut up.
Fuck off.
You went right.
Don't spend that money
You
on a
went right,
joke
Tabby,
gift.
then, or whatever it was.
What?
You went, shut up.
Shut up. Shut up, mate. Sweet as a diamond.
So, that's Cockney, isn't it?
I think so, yeah. I don't know. I don't
So,
spend a lot of time in the East End of London.
Yeah, is that Jane Eyre story going in?
What?
That Jane Eyre story going in?
What Jane Eyre?
You've forgotten already.
What Jane Eyre story?
We were just talking about it a minute ago.
There's something wrong with my memory right now.
That was a Jane
Oh
Eyre
shit, we're
fucking
still
story.
doing this podcast,
Yeah.
Matt. Shit. Okay, we were talking about how we were being serious for once, and I don't like this serious talk, Matt, between us. So next time we do a solo podcast, could it be about something stupid?
Yeah, you need to do celebrities, because I can moan my head off then.
Oh yeah, that's on the list, isn't it?
Yeah.
But I think other people might have wanted to do that, so we'll have to see.
Tough
I don't
shit,
think I've
I'm
put anyone
doing
down. Huh?
Tough shit, I'm doing it.
You're putting your foot down.
I've got my spleen ready to vent.
Yeah, I just really don't like Kim Kardashian.
I don't like these bloody vines. Have you seen them on Facebook?
They're like the 6-second videos, aren't they?
Yeah, and they're full of twats. Honestly. Like, there's one called Jack Jones. I should save this for the
You
Useless
really
Celebrities
should. Okay,
podcast.
that you really should. Do you think we should like sign off now? Because we made lots of points and it's all jumbled up, and I don't know if it made any sense whatsoever. But the talk is all too serious for me.
I think this probably, in terms of actually being sensible, it's probably the best one we've done. You've probably
Yeah,
got
we were
quite a lot
really
of
sensible,
material.
and it feels dirty to me. I think I need to go take
Yeah.
a shower. We were really, really sensible.
Yeah, I didn't get to like make any filthy jokes or anything.
Yeah, neither of us
Do you
did.
know what
We
it
didn't
is,
make
Chris?
any jokes.
I think it's the influence Chris has.
Yeah,
brings it out
I
in
thought
us.
Chris was the sensible one. He'd keep us under control, but no, I think he's the venom.
Yeah,
Because our last one that we did together, just us two, we were sensible as well.
yeah. It only got slightly silly when we started talking about,
Tom Cruise and John Travolta.
yeah, and Castiel.
Ah, Castiel. Oh, do you want to know what happened with Castiel?
He went.
You know
to,
we
he
should
went
call
to the
him Super-
hairdressers.
How did you know?
I saw it on Facebook.
Oh my
I
god,
do
that makes me
see
so
these things.
excited. I've stood on that exact spot before.
You
Yeah.
just disappointed you weren't told he was going to be there.
Yeah, pretty
You could
much.
have gone round.
That didn't happen because it's round the corner from. It's not that far from Leicester Square, so we should go
Yeah.
next time. We should go next time, get haircuts at Castiel.
That would be fun. That would.
Yeah, why not? I was actually close to like booking an appointment, but I didn't have any money. Should we actually sign off now?
I don't know. Why don't we just keep it going? You know, just go
Come
on
on.
as long as possible.
We can't do that, Matt.
Why not?
Because we're not talking about immigration anymore.
Well, that's
and
like
someone has
something you
to
to
edit
talk
this.
about.
No, Matt. Someone has to edit this, and you don't edit, so you have no idea how annoying it is.
Okay, well, tell me how annoying it is to edit.
I'm gonna kill you. All right,
Yeah. All right.
all right.
Yeah.
So, thank
Sling
you
your
for.
I'm telling.
We're signing off now, Matt,
Yeah,
okay?
I'm telling the listeners to sling their rook.
Oh, okay then.
Get lost
Okay.
and get on with your lives. Other
That's
stuff.
Matt's way of saying bye.
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 We promise to be more light-hearted next time. Bye.